No, not at all. Not at all. I really believe that doing taxes is a great job, not just a job, it is a great career. So, in today's conversation, I want to talk to you about how to become a successful tax preparer. And this is going to be a step by step. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Suri Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's discussion, I'm showing you how to become a successful tax preparer. It's very important to understand that becoming a tax preparer is a great opportunity to provide valuable advice to your clients, earn good money, be seen as a respectable member of the community, network with peers, and parlay your expertise into other accounting or tax fields. So this video will teach you everything you need to know to become a successful, a thriving tax practitioner. One thing I need to say right off the bat, when you get into tax preparation, you need to ask yourself, are you doing this as a job or as a business? This is very important because when we speak about tax preparation, you got to look at what we call the 4 tiers. You got to think about seasonality, cyclicality, stability, and sustainability. So if you are just employed, you're just doing a tax preparation from January through April during the tax season, you are at the cyclicality and seasonality level. But if you want to switch to the business side of things, then we are talking about stability and sustainability. You want to be in the sustainability tier because that's where you make the money. That's where you get all the respect. That's where you can up your game. Very important. You also need to understand that when we talk about tax preparation, understanding the tax code is the number one priority. I don't care if you have a software tool that tells you do this and do that, do this. The client still wants you. The client is expecting you to have all the answers to their problems. Very important. So you need to really develop a better understanding of the Internal Revenue Code. You also need to understand that tax preparation software is a tool, not the overall solution. Okay, this is a tool. This is something that helps you improve your expertise or improve your game, if you will. But you are still expected to know all the answers that matter to your clients. And there are 4 important videos on the topic of how to become a successful tax preparer. We have a how to become a tax preparer that is thriving. This is the video you're watching right now. We have also released 3 other videos: how to choose a professional tax preparer software tool, how to grow your tax practice, and the top 10 tax preparer software tools. And one thing I also need to say right off the bat is that clients are constantly looking for the best tax preparers. Okay, there's a lot of competition in this game, and if you want to survive, if you want to thrive, if you want to be here 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what we call a sustainability tier, you need to improve constantly your skills. Very important. All right, folks. So now that we have the foundation of today's discussion, I want to give you the step-by-step that you need to follow. Step number 1, you need to plan. Planning is so important, folks. Very important. First of all, you need to understand the responsibilities of a tax preparer. What are those responsibilities? And those responsibilities are ethical, they are professional, they are legal. Yes, you heard that right. There are legal consequences. If you fail to meet certain responsibilities, your ass can go to jail, and you don't want that, okay? So the first thing you need to do is you need to identify the client's tax needs. You need to talk to the client. You need to read the documentation. You need to peruse whatever documentation the clients hand you. It is your job to understand what's going on in the client's life in terms of their tax status. Okay, you need to interview the client. Your job is to make a first good impression while talking to the client. You need to ask the clients their personal information, their filing status. Okay, are they filing single, head of household, married, filing jointly, or whatever. You need to ask about your client's previous tax filings. Is there any problem with the IRS? Is there any pending audit? You got to understand all those things. Very important. You need to learn about your client's possible incomes. Okay. You want your client to be transparent with you, and they've got to be transparent with you because, again, tax preparation has legal consequences, has regulatory consequences, has legal consequences. Very important. You need to identify any deductions or credits for your clients. Okay. You need to compile financial documents for your clients. I'm talking about everything from Form W-2 tax statements, bank statements, last year's refund amounts, miscellaneous income records, whatever has to do with the client's financial information. It is your job as a tax preparer to do that. So I'm just acquainting you with the responsibilities you have to become familiar with if you want to embark on a tax preparer journey. Okay, you also need to pay attention to tax planning. Once you understand the client situation well, you need to start thinking about tax planning. You need to compute and prepare tax returns. Again, those are responsibilities, okay? You need to complete the client's tax form. And for that, you need to have an EFIN, an electronic filing identification number, EFIN, okay? You also need to offer other products related to tax. So the kind of services you offer depends on your expertise, okay? You can do tax filing. You can do employed clients, corporation, nonprofits. You can offer accounting services, bookkeeping services, specialized services. And the kind of clients you choose, again, depends on you. You can get clients from family and friends, from referrals, or from local businesses. You get all options. It really depends on your expertise, and it depends on the resources that you have to get the job done. Step number 2, folks. So step number 1, you need to do some planning. Step number 2, I want you to get legit. You want to get your act together. Very important, okay? You want to get your employer identification number. I don't care if you are a sole proprietorship. You need to get your EIN. I want you to write it down. So one thing you can do is you can go on the IRS website, and you can check right now if you are eligible to apply for an EIN, because in some cases you might not be eligible. You need to understand the online application, and you need to submit the application. It takes about 15 minutes, okay? Nothing very long, 5, 10, or 15 minutes, and you get your EIN. You need to get your business license or permits, depending on the state where you're located. It really depends. You want to get your PTIN, okay? Your professional tax identification number, so that you can offer services as a tax professional. Okay, because before you can do this, you need to register as a PTIN with the IRS. So the IRS will give you a PTIN. And again, getting a PTIN is easy and free. You also need to get your EFIN, so EFIN. Okay, so those are really important because tax filings can be accomplished electronically nowadays. So the IRS does require every tax preparation business to have an EFIN, an electronic filing identification number, in doing this. And this is mandatory. Okay. So when you're thinking about setting up your business, it is mandatory to get an EFIN. And an EFIN takes about 45 days to process because the IRS conducts a very rigorous background check on every applicant. So very important. And I also want to talk to you about the importance of IRS representation rights. So are you currently a CPA, EA, a tax lawyer? Talk to me about it. Talk to me about it. If not, maybe you want to seek one of those credentials. Why? Because there is something called unlimited representation and limited representation. So if you are an enrolled agent, a certified public accountant, or an attorney, you can represent a client before the IRS. But if you're not one of those, if you don't have one of those licenses or those certifications, you can still do taxes, you can still prepare taxes, but you cannot legally represent those clients before the IRS. This is kind of important because some clients want to have what we call in the business, they want to have a full-time professional. They want to have somebody who has an all-in expertise in the taxation. So this is something that depends on you. It depends on your audience. It depends on your niche. Maybe some niches do not require any advanced study, and yeah, so it is a decision that you have to make based on your clients and based on your resources. Step number 3, folks. Are you with me? Are you with me? Step number 3, I want you to get going. Getting going means what? Get going means that you got to set up your office. Very important. You got to look the part. If you want to make money, if you want to be successful, you need to be clean. You need to appear neat. Very important. You want to evaluate your needs, right? Get the necessary approvals. I've already talked about it. Those are critical. You got to get your PIN, your IFIN. You got to think about business registrations. It's all about getting your business going, okay? You want to create a business goal for the year. This is what I was talking to you about earlier. When you get into the tax preparation business, don't think seasonality. Don't think cyclicality. This is too little. You only going to be making money 4 months in a year. No. Why don't you just jump into a profession, a job, an occupation that is recession proof? Doing taxes is recession proof. You know why? Whether we are in a recession or we are in a boom, people are still going to be forced. I mean, not forced, that's the right word. People have to file their taxes. Okay? Unless you don't make it. Even if you don't make money, you still have to file taxes. So what I'm trying to say here is that you want to take tax preparation on the sustainability level or as a stable occupation. So you want to identify where you will work. We're still in talking about your office, your workplace. Where would you work? You need to set up a budget. You need to identify recurring expenses, everything from tax preparation software to continuing education to office supplies to office rent, licenses and permits. Those are fixed costs. And then you have to think about your variable cost, right? This is very important. Talk to me about that. Have you thought about your variable cost? I don't know you, so I don't know what kind of variable cost you have, but you got to think about fixed and variable cost. Okay, you need to also classify the type of expense that you are going to incur over a specific period of time. Determine, now we're talking about the good part, money. Determine how much you will charge. How much you will charge to be able to make a profit or at least break even. You want to review scenarios. Okay, what if your sales go up in 3 months or 6 months? And that's called revenue simulation. You got to do all these things. You can do it in Excel. Or if you don't have the time or the intellectual capital to do it, you can just get software, okay, to do this. And you need to create your initial budget, okay? Very important. So when we talk about initial budget, we're talking about, you have to mention things like essential office supplies. You need to think about getting tax forms from the IRS. You need to understand the responsibilities, your responsibility as a tax preparer and the cost that goes with it. For example, licenses, permits, you have to pay for those. Those are really, really important, okay? So this is something that you need to think about over and over and over. And also think about what type of services you want to offer, because based on the service that you're offering, you might be incurring some taxes and also some cost, okay? So are you focusing on employed clients, corporations, nonprofits? Are you offering accounting services, bookkeeping services, specialized services? Those are things you need to think about. Step number 4, I want you to become a master in using tools. Very important. Gone are the days where you are doing and people used to do things manually. Don't get me wrong. I used to be in that boat. A few years ago, I was doing things. We had offices, we had tax preparation offices, and we had to do things manually. Nowadays, thank God, you have software. So try to use everything that can automate your tax preparation service. And you need to think about the business tools, the business companies, the consulting companies that provide the best customer experience. You need to have a tool or a set of tools that prepare you for future manpower growth. What I'm trying to say here is that when you start as one person, what we call as a one-member practice, and if after a few months or a few years, you become an oligo member practice or a multi-member practice, then you need to have tools, the software, the technology that can scale with your business. Very important. Scalability is important. I was talking earlier about stability, sustainability, right? But you need to think about scalability also. That's how you grow. You also need to invest in your brand. Very important. Okay. There are a lot of tools out there that can automate everything from logo creation to website creation to the business cards creation, all that kind of stuff. Okay. You need to think about getting a business phone. Very important. Okay, business phone is important because you need to divorce. You gotta divorce your personal affairs from your business's affairs. This is important. Being a tax preparer is not a side gig unless you want it to be. It could be something more powerful and more revenue generating. So this is important. Create a business, have a business phone, have a business email, right? Make everything legit. You really want to show any independent observer that you are indeed a business. This is nothing about a cyclicality or seasonality. No, you are in the game to win it. Also think about business cards. So overall, what I'm saying here is that you want to give the appearance of a business. Okay, you want to have business cards. You want to have a presence on social media. You want to have a website. And the funny thing is, all these things don't cost that much. You might be sitting there and thinking, well, there's a lot of cash. I don't have that cash right now. But guess what? It doesn't cost a lot of money. It does not cost a lot of money. Even when we talk about getting office space, there are a lot of co-working spaces nowadays. You have Regis, you have Airbnb. Okay, you have a lot of players in the game where you don't even have to rent space. You can even start doing the preparation from your house, and as you're scaling, you can move on to a co-working space. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Suri Kiwi Show. We are still having a passionate and interesting conversation about how to become a successful tax preparer. And in today's conversation, I want to give you step number 5, outsource. Yep, you heard it right. The thing is that to be successful in tax preparation, you got to focus on a niche. This is important, but you also got to focus on, you need to focus on the type of expertise where you're good at and improve on that expertise. So everything is, try to outsource it. You want to outsource everything that is outsourceable. I don't even know if the word outsourceable exists, but you get the gist. What I'm trying to say here is that you don't have to hire a lot of professionals to work with you immediately. Okay, because if you have to recruit and pay staff, this could be a lot of money. And when you start, you just want to save as much as possible and reinvest in the business. You want to reinvest in the business. So you can outsource a lot of things. You can outsource IT services, right? This is kind of important. You know, everything from server maintenance to workstation, equipment setup, anything that has nothing to do with taxation or accounting or finance, you can outsource it. You can also outsource everything. You can outsource IT security. You can outsource payroll. Okay, you can outsource what else? Office supplies. There are a lot of things out there that you can outsource. The bottom line is, I want you to focus on what really matters, and that is developing your expertise in taxation and developing your business. It's all about continuing education and scalability. Okay, big decision time. Talk to me right now. Right now, if you are a tax preparer or you are thinking about getting into the business, what are you ready to outsource? Talk to me. You can even outsource marketing services. Yeah. You don't have to spend time trying to code, trying to launch a website. No, just outsource it. Have somebody else deal with that. Okay, I'm talking about the creation of logos and brands, the website designs. You have a lot of folks on Fiverr, Upwork, TopTal, other websites that are just specializing in this work. So your job is to identify the right candidates, just give them the job and just relax and focus on your tax preparation business. This is very important. Step number 6, I want you to look neat. I want you to look presentable. I want you to look impeccable. Talk to me about it. You got to invest in your own office space at some point. When you start, you can work from home, you can work from a co-working space, no problem. But once you start making money, you got to reinvest in the business. And part of that investment is to find space that can house your business. Okay, this is what I was talking about, leaving the cyclicality and seasonality phase and getting into the stability and sustainability phase. Did you hear that? Sustainability. So this is important. You need to invest in your own office space. You got, of course, obviously you're not doing things overnight, but when the time is right, you need to think about a few things. Think about your budget. How much revenue can you allocate to rent? Okay, got to think about that. 10%, 20%, 15%, 5%. Big decision time. Have you thought about the location? Where are your clients located? Do you have a strategic location in mind? Have you thought about the best venue for your tax preparation business? Talk to me about that. What about office size? Do you need a large office, or are you just cool with a tiny one? Those are things you need to think about. What about getting help from real estate brokers? Do you have friends? Do you have people around you who can help you get that? Because the thing here is that depending on your needs, you might not be able to find the type of office you need by yourself, which is why it's always important to reach out to professionals, okay? And it's not about, first of all, when you reach out to a real estate broker, they're not charging you anything. They're making money from the landlord. Okay, they're making a commission on the rent or the sale, whatever it is, but you're not paying anything, okay? So you're able to have someone who can support you in negotiating on your lease, somebody who has advanced knowledge of the kind of properties that you are looking for. You're getting guidance from an expert, especially when it comes to leasing agreements, okay? So this is kind of important. If you are going to be in a place for, say, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, you better have somebody to help you out from the get-go. But again, if you're not really ready, if you're not ready to move into your own space, you can continue doing you can continue doing your work at a co-working space, okay? You have WeWork, you have Regis, you have Airbnb, you have Commercial Cafe, you have OfficeSpace.com, you have LoopNet. A lot of players are in the field and they're all good. Let me talk to you about getting clients. Yeah, this is important. We've talked about a lot of stuff, but how do you get clients? How do you acquire clients? First of all, you got to market your business. Okay, before talking to any potential clients, you must have developed marketing tools that are ready to use. This is what I was just telling you earlier, that you need to reach out to freelancers. If you don't have the staff in your entourage, reach out to freelancers on online or locally and let them help you. Let them help you create your brand, because at the end of the day, your brand defines the essence of your business. Very important, okay? And so you need to set a targeted audience. So knowing your market is crucial for when you are ready to do some marketing, when you're ready to do some targeting, whether you do it offline, online, on Facebook ads, on Google, on YouTube, whatever it is. You better have a clear idea of who your customers are, your potential customers are. Are they local? Are they national? Are they global? Who are your clients and where are they located? You also want to use one channel or multiple channels for engagement. Okay, it's important. So once you have identified your brand and narrowed down your target audience, aka niche, you need to plan how you will communicate those things effectively. Okay, you want to build an online presence either through a website or, just about every business needs a website. I really don't care how tiny you are, how tiny your business is, rather, but you need to have an online presence, okay? And don't tell me that, I have a page on Facebook. No, I'm talking about a location where the clients can go that is independent of Facebook or Google or whatever, that you can say, this is me, this is my website. It is important. So use traditional marketing tools, everything from business cards. Those are important. You want to use direct mail. Okay, it's important to develop promos and incentives. Why should people actually sign up with you? It's important to do that. It's important to develop promos Okay, you want to also think about your first clients, and those are your family and friends. Okay, families and friends are really good because they know you. You have known them for many years. They trust you, and they'll be more willing to give you a chance. And once you do that, once you're able to convince them of the excellence of your service, you should start seeing clients being referred to you. Okay, and when we talk about converting your clients, your friends rather, converting your friends into clients, you have to think about the fact that you can think about your acquaintances, your proximity friends, your close friends, your family or relatives. Okay, and you can also think about referral from existing clients. Okay, so this is important. So at the end of the day, you can actually gain clients by directly asking, by offering incentive, by having a referral program. Big decision time, big decision time. Do you have a referral program right now? Are you thinking about having one? It's important. It's important also to network with other professionals, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's all about finding people. You might be thinking, well, those professionals, they are my rivals. No, everybody has their niche, and chances are, even if they are in the same niche as you, the market is so big, you can still make money. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. In today's conversation, I was talking to you about how to become a successful tax preparer. And step number one, first of all, we had an overview. You need to understand the foundation of the tax preparer job, the occupation itself. Number one, you want to plan. Number two, you want to get legit. Number three, you want to get going. Number four, use the proper tools. Number five, you want to outsource. Number six, you want to look impeccable. And number seven, you want to get clients, acquire clients. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.